According to a flat earther, there are more older women than younger women that believe in the flat earth nonsense. This is from Synthetic Warriors channel, and he have a guest. I will let him present his guest.
This is Run Boston Bear. Run Boston Bear is one of those guys like me. He kind of like looks at the Bible, and when the Bible says that the earth was created, Run Boston Bear kind of goes, yeah.
In the next part, Run Boston Bear is talking about his family and his relation with his wife. Let's jump into that one.
And, if I told you about my transition from thinking the world was a globe into what is this creation? Let me look into it. That was actually one of the wedges we had to get around because she thought I had lost my mind.
And she wasn't wrong.
And I'm going to say this, Run Boston Bear. Women, particularly women that are younger, meaning to say, I find women who are more in their 50s and 60s are able to understand this.
And soon we will get the explanation for that statement.
Women tend to be very resistant to this understanding only because I think by nature, biologically, they are programmed to go along with consensus. Due to the aspect of being a mother and having a maternal responsibility. I think it is in their nature to follow the consensus because it is adaptive and it increases their survival ability. Do you understand what I'm saying, Run Boston Bear? That by nature, women who are especially biologically viable for reproduction tend to naturally resist any ideas that go against common consensus. That's why I don't blame young women for not understanding these things.
The obvious reason would be that the young women are smarter than you. This is so damn stupid, and it goes on.
I blame society because I think these are for men to understand.
So those two fools think they are smarter than girls, women, and so on. But have they missed the fact that most of Earth's population don't believe in their nonsense?
And I think leadership roles are for men because of this. This is why I disqualify women from being able to participate in leadership roles over men.
Oh dear, what nonsense. For instance, until some weeks ago, the highest ranking officers in the Swedish Navy was a woman. Today she have advanced to a higher position in the Swedish military, and she was a great boss. There are many great bosses, and they are bosses over men. This fool is afraid of women. Is he living alone in the basement at his mother's place, or what's his problem?
Because of this, because I think by nature they are intrinsically programmed to go along with consensus for survival and the survivability of their offspring. Your thoughts?
Oh yeah.
And his stupid guest is agreeing with him about this nonsense.
Well, the really unique thing is I'm a stay-at-home dad with these kids, and she offered me the opportunity to either pursue professional athletics, like triathlon and marathon, and just see how far I could go as like a master's pro, or, hire somebody to raise our kids. And, that would be what would happen if we went that route. Or, she's like, or would you want to, give your hand at raising them yourself or staying home with them? And I was like, man, I never thought about, being a stay-at-home dad. I went to college for business, and I was a hotel manager, of a pretty large hotel chain. And, but I said, you know what? I don't like the idea of someone else raising our kids. Like, if they're at school all the time and then we've got this nanny, well, who's really pouring into them? So I took the job, and I've been a stay-at-home dad for 8 years now. And she's a physician, and the military she did 8 years active duty service. So if you think about indoctrination, like her degree in biology and then the med school and then the military, it's just like cram, respect authority, listen to authority, follow the rules. So when I found out, wait a second, outer space is just a fantasy land story. It's like basically Star Trek for adults. It's not what, where we live and what's up there is not what we were told when we were 5. Her knee-jerk reaction was to trip out, and her main question for me for
of course,
her main question for me for 2 months was, why are you being so countercultural? I don't get why you would be so countercultural.
Right.
But I told her, look,
this is my point. This is the point I've been making. Go ahead, continue.
I said, I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm literally just wanting to look into what is the truth.
You want the truth, regardless of consequence, regardless of consensus, countercultural. That's what see how her primary concern was to go along with the culture. Mm-hmm. Your primary concern is for the truth. Mm-hmm. I contend, Run Boston Bear, that this is due to our biology.
I'm well aware that I live in another country than those two fools and in another culture. Sweden is quite equal between the both sex. Women and men have the same opportunities in society in every way. But I think this is not about US culture. I believe it's about some kind of brain damage on those two fools.
Go ahead, continue. This is a wonderful topic. Please keep going.
It really has a great ending too. So I realized quickly that I didn't realize how freaky it was to figure out all the deceptions. Because when you are told the Earth is stationary and not rotating and that the luminaries move over top of us, you have to try to digest that. And as you're trying to look into that, many more, it's like a house of cards, many more deceptions fall, and you realize like history's fabricated and there's just so many things that aren't true. So I, as a man, 43 years old, was very anxious about what it even meant. And I was trying to tell her, oh, look, this is a lie. Look at this freaky satanic crap. And I was coming off like really freaked out, and it was freaking her out. So
right,
I realized quite quickly I needed to ask for her trust, ask for some time. And I went on like a 5-month study. I just studied for what was true and what was right and didn't tell her anything.
And where did he study? In some kind of university? Of course. I'm quite sure that he studied on YouTube University. He was looking at flat earthers' videos filled with lies and misunderstanding about real science.
And then throughout that process, I said to her, because I was telling her like, this is valuable, what I'm doing, this time I'm spending, this is worthy because the truth is worthy. And there is value in seeking the truth, and we should always seek the truth. And she's a follower of the Messiah as well. And what finally helped her was when I said, listen, just for a second, pretend that you're the creator of all things. Just pretend that you made all this stuff outside and in us and our kids and everything. You know what I mean? If you designed a world for humans to live in, and it's perfectly balanced, it has seasons, it's just harmonious, nature's amazing and beautiful, and there was an evil force, let's say Satan or darkness or whatever, took what you made as like a masterpiece, an art piece, and twisted it and inverted it into this ball and this heliocentric story, how would that make you feel? And she's like, oh, I never thought about it that way. I said, because babe, I'm telling you the truth. The heliocentric lie is exactly that. It's an inversion of what's actually true. Here, let's look in the Bible. And we went through Genesis slowly, where, there was day and night cycles, days before the sun and the moon were in place, and how many different times it says that the earth is on a foundation, is fixed and shall not be moved. And the long story short is, as I chilled out, studied on my own, brought it in a very slow way to her, because I definitely had to slow roll this thing. She's like, well, wait a minute. I believe what the word says over what man has ever said.
So he studied using the Bible, and then he brainwashed his own wife. Oh dear.
To me, it's the quintessential aspect of my life right now that might change is to have this understanding and then to navigate this world knowing it with the feeling that I have a duty and a responsibility to talk about it.
Or I'm waking people up. I'm trying to wake people up to helping them to see how unique and beautiful and special they are in this moment. Like, I don't care about your past. I don't care what you used to believe. I don't care what you did before. Right now and right here, you're a valuable person.
If you listen to those two fools or listen to Flatsoid, it's quite clear that Flat Earth is a cult, and it's more and more a religious cult.
I'm actually fascinated, dude, that you're kind of new into this, relatively speaking. And I get it because I was the same way, man. Once it clicked for me, it fucking clicked for me. It was a weird thing where, so I'll give you my story real quick.
Yeah, do it.
No thanks. I have no interest in listening to your story, how you did get in this stupid belief that the Bible is a science book and that we live on a flat earth. I think this video is showing how damn stupid flat earthers are, and their view on female, on women, is disgusting. Okay, I can't stand more from those fools, but I thought it was important to show another side of Flat Earth fools. They are not any nice people at all. That was all for this time. We'll be back soon. Have a nice day. Bye.